Okay, so now that we've got our property set up, our documents in there, our rental units set up, it's time to add a tenant. So we've got two options here. We can create a tenant, and we're going to create we can create a guarantor to link. In this case, we're going to do both. So we're going to create a tenant, and we're going to call the tenant John Smith Jr. JS Jr. at example.com. And assign to property 35 Entwood Drive, and assign to rental unit 35 Entwood Drive. Create tenant. Now here we can add a bit more information about the tenant, date of birth, really handy to upload any documents, for example, credit references you might have done, any application forms you've got them to fill out, any copies of hard copies of references that you want to do, you can do that. You can also add a tenant note. You'll see that there's a tenant balance up here. Now this is only live when you activate it, and what that means is any deficit or any rental balance owed to you is linked to the actual rental unit until a tenant moves out. So once that tenant moves out, you can then transfer the balance to the actual tenant. So it doesn't look like it's owing the rental unit anymore, which is the responsibility of the tenant that's occupying it. When that tenant moves out, you can move that balance to the tenant and set up payment plans with them direct. Now, also in tenants, you'll see we got the option to create guarantor, which is John Smith Senior. We're going to have John Smith Senior at example.com. And we're going to assign this guarantor to John Smith Jr. Create guarantor. Exactly the same again. Any credit referencing you've done, any hard copies of references that you've done, you can upload these documents here. We can create notes on the tenant. So again, a bit like the note system on the actual property itself, we're able to create notes. So we could have John still owes £85 for damages. He has agreed to pay on the 30th of this month. Oops. Add note. There we go. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much all we could say about tenants. We've linked them to the property and the rental unit, so when we come in now, we should hopefully have rental units 1, documents 4, although it should be 3, we're working on that, tenants, tasks and notes. So we can see that John is automatically added here, and we click in him, it will take him into the tenant card. But although we have added a note, because I've added it to the individual rental unit, I'll need to filter that to bring up that note there. But that's pretty much the system, long and short, of where we're up to so far for actually managing the tasks, tenants and reminders of the property.